では、これよりコンテスト前半の部7名の発表を始めます。
From now, we will start the contest. The first speaker is Kawasaki Haruka. The title is No Correct Answer Questions. Kawasaki-san, please.
What do you think? This is a question we are often asked these days. For example, what do you think about the environmental issues? What do you think about food imbalances? What do you think about inequalities? And what do you think the problem is? These questions are often asked of us along with some advice, such as you can answer freely because there are no correct answers. Any answers will be correct, so express your frank opinion. But such advice makes us more confused. These questions usually have various aspects. Each answer will have beneficial points and unbeneficial ones. Consequently, we are considering about them too deeply and cannot answer them anything instantly. It is often said that our generation will live in the age when there are different no correct answer questions. Nowadays, to improve our abilities to create our answers, schools provide various activities of questioning. In the past ages, finding unveiled answers may have been the job of some genius inventors. They closely observed people's lives, found their hidden desires, and made them come true. But now, it is we all who need to do the same things. We need to observe people's lives, find their hidden desires, and make them come true. This puts a heavy strain on us. As a result, a lot of people are being tired of facing many no correct answer questions. However, I believe that trying to answer them will have many beneficial effects on us. Firstly, it will improve your grit. Grit is the first letter of guts, resilience, initiative, and tenacity. Those are powers you need to live through this complicated age. If you try to find your answers courageously and spontaneously, even if you fail, someday you can accomplish the goal. Grit that you obtain through facing the challenges will help you for your entire life. Secondly, you can expand your view. You will find your strong points and interests. Considering how you can solve no correct answer questions gives you opportunities to look at the inside of you. You may find yourself unveiled. You may have interest in something that you have never looked at. For example, history, languages, music, or science, or have fantastic ideas about connecting them. Observing yourself from different views will provide you with chances to think about your future. Moreover, you can be the leading expert in a specific field. The field may be small, and you may be able to be proud of your discovery only to your friends and parents. However, the experience of being an expert will help you develop your confidence. For instance, when I was a junior high school student, I conducted research on how we could be happy. I could not find any outstanding discoveries, but explaining my research progress to people made me more confident. For these reasons, I think that it is a valuable experience to try to answer no correct answer questions, even if they are complicated ones. These activities empower us in many ways. I would like to answer more no correct answer questions so that I can improve my grit, broaden my horizons, and have more confidence. Thank you for listening.
The second speaker is Waji Yukino. The title is Everyone is a Friend. Waji-san, please.
Everyone is a friend. Everyone is a friend. This is what I believe when I interact with people. If everyone saw this way, we could help each other and spend time together without worrying. There might be times opinions differ, but no one will hear back. For this to happen, it's important that everyone, not just one person, shares this mindset. Recently, I realized something after hearing a story from a friend. This happened while we were reflecting on a school trip to the UK. My friend felt that the local student was being distant when they talked, and she worried that she hadn't communicated well. However, it turned out that the student was just shy, and their aloofness was due to their personality. The language barrier had prevented her from seeing the student's true nature. When I heard this story, it reminded me of a similar experience I had. This happened when I was doing a homestay in America. When I first talked to my host family, I was worried about whether my English was being understood, so I didn't pay much attention to their personal feelings. I was communicating with host family children. I was talking to two sisters. But they didn't say much. However, when I started talking about movies they like and play volleyball with them, they gradually began to talk to me. I was so focused on my English that I didn't realize children were just shy. Instead of interacting with children, I thought of them as children who speak English. When speaking in Japanese, I can usually sense whether the other person is talkative or reserved. But when speaking English, I don't have the same ease. Realizing this lifted the weight off my shoulders. This experience taught me a new perspective. Even with a language barrier, I plan to remember that we are all human. If I keep thinking that everyone is a friend, I think it will be easier to understand others. I realized the importance of valuing simple truths. From now on, when I talk to people who speak different languages, I want to be proactive and speak with a relaxed mindset. I hope to share this idea with many people so that everyone can feel a bit more comfortable talking to others. Thank you for listening. The third speaker is Miyamoto Miko. The title is Fallen in Love with English. Miyamoto-san, please.
Hi there. I love English. I have fallen in love with English, but getting to that point was not an easy journey. Let me tell you about it. Ever since I was a little child, I have been interested in learning about foreign countries, such as America and Greece. I even fantasize about living outside Japan. I want to know more about other cultures, taste the variety of foods in the world, and experience the cultures of different countries. But how can I go abroad if I don't speak English? I have to learn English and talk in English. To be honest, my English is far from perfect. I'm still not good at it. I went to an English conversation school and I learned some songs, chants, and some simple expressions. Even though I started when I was 7 years old, I still cannot speak it well. Then you might wonder, why is he not good at English? It's because I wasn't into it at the time. I wasn't focused. And being a child, I wanted to play with my friends instead of being serious in my classes. When I went to junior high school, there were two things that brought me positive changes. The first one was learning from my teacher, Miss Yamamoto. When I met her for the first time, I was amazed at her English pronunciations. She sounded like a native speaker. I wanted to be like her. The second change was when I was really frustrated with my poor English skills. When I was in third grade of junior high school, I heard from a friend that an exchange student was coming to his house. I got excited at the thought that it was my chance to use my English. The result was disastrous. I couldn't speak English at all. It was frustrating, and it was a reality that hit me hard. So after that, I talked with my English teachers, and I went to Asakusa every weekend to talk with tourists. These two things brought me positive changes that made me love English more. Thanks to them, I made a promise to myself to study harder. Now, I have two friends who are foreigners. One of them is American, the other is French. I really appreciate their friendship. In the future, my dream is to open a new shop in America. I still have a long way to go, but my love for English will help me realize this dream. The most important things are my passion and determination to keep this love for it burning. Thank you for listening.
The fourth speaker is Kimura Sakie. The title is Gender Equality. Kimura-san, please.
Why are there so many men in positions of power? One reason, in my opinion, is that the society put emphasis on men before. Even now, such a trend continues in the world. That is why one of the goals of the SDGs. Today, I'd like to talk about my opinion on gender equality and my experience. When I was in the second grade of junior high school, I was chosen to be a leader of event. The decision was made by about several students. Afterward, a boy told me, "You do your best even though you're a girl." These words stuck with me because I felt like a woman was judged not to be a leader. Also, this small remark shows the world still holds all the common sense about the gender laws. Have you ever been unfairly judged by gender? This is a problem that many people are facing. It is not a personal issue. It is an issue that you should think about in society. In many places, women can't get high position in society. Also, child marriages are still happening and so many. The human rights of children and women are abandoned on the issue of child marriages. Another issue is housework. It's considered to be a woman's job, even though it shouldn't be. This will increase the burden on women and lose their own time. My family is one example of this happening. Why does it happen? One reason is that all the traditional views continue even now. For example, in the past, only women learned home economics and spread out the word housewife. It is not just women's issue. My brother once told me he didn't cry because he was a boy. At that time, I didn't care about that, but now I understand one of the big problems. Gender issue hurt everyone regardless of gender. How can we solve this problem? It's not easy. For a society that wants to achieve this, it's important to cultivate a sense of caring for people. So many countries are making effort to solve gender equality. For example, in Africa, children who can go to school learn about the gender equality and real situation. But not only children who live in Africa, but also children who live in the world should learn gender equality. Because future is made by today's children. There are more issues related to gender issue worldwide. It's impossible to solve them alone. However, the first step is for everyone to know this problem. Why don't you consider gender issue to create a world where everyone can shine? Thank you.
The fifth speaker is Jitsukawa Mai. The title is Appropriate Use of Ambulances. Jitsukawa-san, please.
Late one night, my grandfather called my father. It seemed that he was not feeling well. When my father drove to my grandfather's house, he found that he couldn't move, so he called an ambulance. My father's judgment was not wrong. My grandfather was in anaphylactic shock. He was immediately taken to the hospital, and now, fortunately, my grandfather is doing well. I wondered why my grandfather called my father at first. It would have been quicker if my grandfather had called 119 directly. So why did he decide to call my father? Perhaps he was hesitant to call an ambulance with such symptoms. People tend to hold back when they feel ill. Today, I would like to introduce you some tragic events that happened because of such hesitance. This year, a student at an elementary school in Ehime Prefecture hit his head on the ground. But the school did not immediately call an ambulance because they thought his condition was not so serious. The boy's parents hurried to school. His parents later called an ambulance, and about an hour after the injury, the boy was rushed to a hospital in the city. The boy was diagnosed with a fractured skull. While such errors in judgment occur, the number of unnecessary and non-urgent calls is also increasing. Non-emergency calls, such as requesting an ambulance instead of calling a taxi, or asking for a lost item, account for 20% of all 119 calls in a year. Due to the increase in non-essential ambulance use, from June 1st of this year, in the Matsusaka area of Mie Prefecture, Sentei will be charged for ambulance use. Sentei is the fee set by the ministry for the purpose of avoiding a lot of patients to go to major hospitals. For example, if you are transported by emergency to designated hospitals in the area but are not hospitalized, you will be charged 7,700 yen. If the number of calls continues to increase, the arrival of ambulances will be delayed, and lives that could be saved may not be saved. So, the city is trying to reduce the number of calls by making it more expensive for mild cases. I think that once Sentei here collected, there is a risk that the fees will gradually rise. If charges are introduced, there will be a service gap between those who have money and those who do not. I am strongly against charging fees for emergency services, save people's lives, and money should not be a barrier to health. The reason for this is that many people are hesitant to use ambulances in the United States because they must pay an ambulance fee. If you have a mild illness and your insurance company will not pay, you will have to pay the ambulance fee by yourself, which can be more than $500. Still, in a lot of areas of Japan, what should you do if you're unsure whether to call an ambulance? In such a case, you can call the Emergency Medical Center #7119 for emergency counseling. When you call the number, a well-trained counselor will listen to the situation of the injured person over the phone and determine whether it is an emergency. If it is determined to be non-critical, they will advise on medical facilities that can be used at that time. If it is determined that the situation is highly urgent, the patient will be connected to an appropriate medical service. This will allow emergency services to rush to the injured or sick person as quickly as possible. I believe that the more correct knowledge is disseminated, the more people will be able to use ambulances appropriately. For this purpose, education at elementary and junior high schools and seminars for the elderly will become important. I'm positive that the more lives will be saved through these efforts. Thank you for listening.
The speaker is Taguchi Mao. The title is Gender Gap in Sports Today. Taguchi-san, please.
Today, I will talk about one crucial issue in sports, which is the gender disparities. The current society is changing, and the trend of trying to improve women's social status is put on emphasis. But there is still a huge gap between men and women in sports. Do you guys know anything about the issue? I think you may come up with something. For example, there is a wage gap, and the environment of women is not good for playing sports. In 2023, the U.S. women's soccer team won a lawsuit claiming equal wages with the men's team. And it happens that the environment of practicing sports is quite different between men and women. That is surprising. I thought the issues would be solved. But I wondered, what kind of causes make the issue worse? What do you think? This time, I searched for them from historical and social perspectives. First of all, sports have been developed for privileged men to exercise and educate. So I will ask you a question. What kind of images are for men at that time? 1, strong. 2, tough. And 3, robust. The answer is all of them. The man was regarded as strong, tough, and robust, so only men could play sports. That is one of the reasons why the status of women is not high even now. But to improve this circumstance, there's been push for gender equality since the UN adopted the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women in 1979 and the Brighton Declaration in 1994, which call for more female participation. What about social problem? The proportion of women who manage sports is low. In Japan Sports Association, the rate of female is 25.4% and more than 40% in sports union is 22 of 126. That is so low. But, and also compared with other countries, Japan is much lower. So, what should we do? Do you have anything idea? Okay, let me talk about solutions. First, introducing child care support system. Female athletes and officials retire from their jobs to care for their children. To support their dreams of playing sports after raising their children, it is the best system. But I think it is the best not only for sports. For example, in some companies, there are child care support facilities such as nursery schools. So it is better to adapt it in sports. And also, to address overlooked needs from female perspectives and contribute to be a better sports environment. Contemporary sports is still for men. Women cannot be satisfied with playing. Contemporary sports should be changed to be for men and women, listening to the women's requests. And last, we can raise awareness of gender issues in sports. Thank you for listening.
The seventh speaker is Okawara Sara. The title is 50 centimeters. Okawara-san, please.
What do you think of when you hear someone say 50 centimeters? Something long or something short? Or maybe a newborn baby's average height? My speech is about 50 centimeters of my hair. One day, I watched a video in which a boy who had long hair got his hair cut. I was so impressed that a kid could grow his hair that long. To my surprise, however, the long, beautiful hair was for some other people and not for themselves. That made me watch more videos about hair donation, and it made me learn about hair donation in Japan. For starters, hair donation is literally donating hair to children under 18 years of age who have hair problems for various reasons, such as cancer, unexpected accidents, or other issues. I donated my hair to a non-profit organization called Jarvak. They gather hair that is over 31 centimeters long and make wigs for children. 31 centimeters is the minimum hair length for donations, but different style wigs require different lengths. For longer wigs, donated hair must be 50 to 60 centimeters long. It doesn't matter if the hair is dyed or bleached. A lot of children need semi-long and long wigs. However, growing hair over 50 centimeters is not an easy task. It takes a lot of time and effort. I first started to grow my hair for myself, but it later became for others. I let my hair grow because it was my desire to have long hair like my favorite idol. My hair was long enough to donate when I saw that video. I could have cut my hair then, but I thought it would have been better for the children to grow my hair even longer. I grew my hair for 4 years. It was 50 centimeters long. To be honest, it actually was not easy to grow my hair that long. Washing my hair took a long time. I needed at least 40 minutes to take a shower. Also, it took 20 minutes to dry my hair. I wanted to try various hairstyles, but I couldn't. I wasn't able to tie my hair in a bun or curl my hair because it was too long. There were times I felt like I wanted to give up. But there was one time when I saw a picture of a 6-year-old girl wearing a wig. I couldn't see her face, but I knew she was happy. That is why I kept growing my hair. There are so many ways to help others. In my case, it was a hair donation. Many people constantly said to me, "Your hair is so long. Why don't you have a haircut?" I always answered, "It is because I will donate my hair." I hope such conversations about hair donation will spread and people can learn about it, or maybe even try it. It takes hair from 30 to 50 people to make one wig. So the more people that donate hair, the more wigs that can be made. When I finally had my hair cut after 4 years of growing it, I was like, wow, I finally did it. I felt a little bit lonely, but also excited and happy for the children waiting for my hair. This experience taught me that even an ordinary student like me can be a help to others. Some people say hair donation is unconscious discrimination, and the spread of hair donation makes children think they should have hair because most people do. I'm not saying that having hair is the most important thing in life. I am thinking that there are children who can feel more confident with wigs. It depends on them whether they want to wear a wig or not. I heard that wigs have changed the lives of some children for the better. So I want to grow my hair again, and I want to donate it again. I'll be happy if hair donation will be one of your choices to help others. Our hair can help others. Our hair can make children smile. Our hair can change the world. Thank you.
The ninth speaker is Kiyuchi Aibu. The title is The Key to Happiness. Kiyuchi-san, please.
Where do you think the key to truly enjoying life lies? In your pocket or perhaps in your world? I believe it lies in being yourself. Being yourself means accepting your unique thoughts, interests, and feelings, your individuality. When I studied abroad in the USA for 3 weeks, I noticed a difference how people express their individuality. You might have seen school life in foreign movies. At the school I attended, there were no uniforms. Students wore clothes they liked, dyed their hair any color, and freely wore piercing and accessories. This level of freedom, which I hadn't seen in Japan, surprised me. In class, students actively spoke up and asked questions. The distance between teachers and the student was closer, creating a space where opinions were freely exchanged. I felt like perhaps it was because American teachers were more approachable compared to Japanese teachers, making it easier for the student to express their individuality. Moreover, students were determined not to do what they didn't want to do, and focused on what truly interested them. Their bright personalities were inspiring. In contrast, Japanese schools have many rules, often prioritizing conformity over self-expression. While following rules is important, some might feel restricted. For example, school uniform and hairstyle rules save the student the trouble of choosing clothes daily, but limit self-expression. Additionally, my middle school had strict hairstyle rules.
requiring everyone to have the same hairstyle. Furthermore, I sense the fear of opinion, but expressing opinion in Japan. Many might feel pressure to follow the club, even if it wasn't what truly wanted. I have been there myself. I have been there myself. This might stem from Japan valuing conformity. We will less to be like everyone else since childhood. Of course, unity is important in school life. However, to truly enjoy life, cherishing your individuality is essential. And I believe that valuing our true self can also positively impact the relationship with others. By revealing our true selves, instead of wearing masks, we can build deeper trust. By respecting each other's individuality, we can create more diverse and enriched society. The poet, Mrs. Kaneko said, "Everyone is different, and that's okay." Embracing your uniqueness while accepting others can ease our hearts and bodies, making each day truly enjoyable. To achieve this, it's crucial to recognize the value of different perspectives in public spaces like school and maintain an open attitude towards diverse opinion. I aim to change my environment from within, embracing different perspectives daily, and respecting diverse personalities. The key to enjoying life lies within our hearts. Thank you.
The 10th speaker is Kobayashi Luka. The title is Take Off Your Color Glasses. Kobayashi-san, please.
In this world, there is a lot of prejudice. For example, when we imagine foreigners, we first imagine people who have white skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes. I also have a lot of prejudice towards many people. I had a big prejudice against Chinese and Korean people. I've seen the news about the Chinese and Koreans' anti-Japanese movement since I was in elementary school, and while I was learning history, I knew the reason why they don't like Japan, so I was getting scared to talk with them. I thought all Chinese and Korean people don't like Japanese people, so I was really scared when I went to Korea. But actually, the people I met there were so kind to me. I only know a few words in Korean, so I couldn't talk with them well. I said to them only, "I'm Japanese," in Korean. But every Korean talks to me in English and a little Japanese, so I really enjoyed Korea. Also, when I went to Canada, my roommate was a Chinese girl. At first, I couldn't talk with her because I thought she didn't like Japanese. But on the second day in Canada, my class was supposed to start in the afternoon, so I slept a little bit longer. But her class was in the morning, and she thought we were taking same class, and she woke me up. I was a little bit surprised, but I was happy. I talked to her every night after that, and I found out that she really likes Japan, and now we are really good friends. Prejudice can become a big obstacle to becoming friends with someone. I think it is important to see each person as an individual to avoid it. How can we practice this? Firstly, we should not stereotype the people. People always stereotype others. For instance, they classify Japanese, Asian, and so on. I think it brings most of the prejudice. For instance, Japanese people are polite and modest, but too shy. Many people have said such things to me. but it's not real. Of course, some of them are, but not all. Stereotyping can degrade a minority's existence. Secondly, we need to know the people of each country. It is often said that in order to eliminate prejudice, it is important to know the other person well. The best way is to make friends with someone from that country. We can't get the thoughts of each person deeply by only researching on the internet. I think we can get the person's thoughts and backgrounds only from talking to them face to face. Also, what you see and share yourself is more memorable than what you hear from others. So it is important to work for everyone to do it. What we can do to eliminate prejudices are surprisingly simple. The most important thing is to take action. If each of us moves, we can create a better world. It feels like I'm saying something big, but it's not difficult. I've said it many times that you just take action. It's up to you. Don't sugarcoat yourself and don't draw inaccurate conclusions about people. Let us not divide our community. Prejudice separates us from truly understanding one another. We are the same people. Don't think we are different. Stop prejudice. Take off your colored glasses. Thank you.
The 11th speaker is Nakaura Shuhei. The title is My Aspirations. Nakaura-san, please.
Do you have aspirations? Aspirations are different from dreams. The two are very similar, but dreams are private desires and aspirations are public desires. For example, becoming a singer and wanting to earn a high income or fame is a dream that fulfills our own desire. In contrast, if you want to inspire people through songs that you are good at, this applies to aspirations. In contrast, if you want to inspire people through songs that you are good at. In other words, an aspiration is something that is accompanied by the desire and action to make people around you happy in a more public way. At my school, we have a class called Kokorozashi Kyoiku. In this class, students discover what kind of person they want to become and what they want to accomplish in the future and think about how they can productively continue learning to realize their aspirations. In this class, I began to think about my own aspirations. Today, I would like to talk about my aspirations. My aspiration is to help those who are currently in need in order to improve society, not only in Japan, but also around the world. We need to make use of the knowledge and skills of engineers and specialists. I want to create a system to raise money to make use of good technology and good ideas. Currently, Japan is facing various social problems. For example, the proportion of elderly people in the total population will peak in 2040, as the junior baby boomers born in the early 1970s become elderly, and there are concerns about labor shortages in all industries, medical care, welfare, and social security. It is also true that there are people who are trying to solve these problems. However, without money, no efforts will be realized. I would like to create a system that can support businesses financially. If we build a mechanism that is a way to advance the business without relying on individual competence, we can prevent the business from coming to a halt because of something unexpected. But right now, how can we achieve this? I haven't come up with a date, but I'm confident in a good way that I'm not bound by stereotypes because I don't have enough knowledge. Currently, there are several remarkable companies on the internet. Not long ago, would you have offered money for scam hackers? I'm sure that someone with financial knowledge would have examined the business plan and other details. Mr. Yamada, the President of America, traveled to emerging countries and established this company after returning to Japan. He believes that people in emerging countries would never be able to live like those in developed countries if they continued to use it and throw it away. He also doubted Japanese men alone would be enough to win in the international arena as Japan's population continues to decline. He noticed that the ratio of women in science-related fields is the lowest in the OECD, and so he created a scholarship system for women in science-related fields. How many SDGs is this president going to solve alone? I am impressed. After all, Japan is really facing many problems, but there are also people all over Japan who are trying to solve them. At the moment, I don't have the financial knowledge, the energy to travel the world, or the language skills, but I can live safely and have plenty of time to spend on my studies and hobbies. And I want to read books about economics to gain knowledge. From this moment on, I'm going to take a step toward the realization of my aspiration. Thank you for your attention.
Well, now, last but not the least, the 12th speaker is Takeda Hinata. The title is Creating an Inclusive Engineering World. Takeda-san, please.
In 2017, the Japan Society of Mechanical Engineers celebrates its 120th anniversary with 3 I's: inclusion, integration, and inspiration. Among these, the word inclusion refers to a state in which diverse human resources respect each other and are able to demonstrate their abilities, especially in engineering, where the percentage of women is very small. The term diverse human resources has a strong nuance of being gender neutral. Despite the increase in such effort, even now, the number of women in engineering is still very small. I want to be a role model to encourage more women to want to go into engineering to change this situation. As of 2022, only about 60% of all female students belong to engineering department at universities, and female members of the Japan Society of Mechanical Engineers, introduced earlier, account for only 3% of the total. Engineering is not a discipline that is studied with the goal of gaining qualifications. Also, unlike men, women have a life event such as pregnancy and childhood. Although maternity and paternity leave is now common, it is still necessary to interrupt one's career in the middle of it. There still seems to be a perception that you need to be qualified to continue working once interrupted. In fact, I was one of those who thought so. I go to an all-girls school, and there are many opportunities to hear from women who have gone on to various careers, but I have never had a woman in engineering come to my school. And I thought that it was difficult for women to active in engineering. It was encounter with a woman that changed my mind. I had always been interested in manufacturing, so I attended a workshop organized by Kawasaki Heavy Industries. There, I asked the facilitator, the female employee, a few questions about the engineering department. Among her college classmates, there were only 3 women in the engineering department. She said with a smile, "It was very difficult to study surrounded by boys, but the friendship between the 4 of us was the most solid of any of us." In this field of study, the knowledge you learn at university is directly related to your job. No matter what path you choose, you can always find a job. Don't worry too much. You should take care of what you love. How cool! I thought so from the bottom of my heart. Even now that women's rights and freedom of choice are being called for, I don't think people's prejudice have been removed from their mind. We should not allow the prejudice to change someone's future. I want to pave the way to engineering and be a role model to reduce the number of people like me who are interested in engineering but are unable to take the first steps, and to increase the number of women who are active in engineering. For me, just like a woman. However, it is not a program that will change greatly if I alone do my best. Of course, we need to remove or reduce that it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. But as a direct approach, I think we should increase opportunities for women who have gone into engineering to talk to middle and high school students. Not just academic matters, but what are the technologies that support this world today? What kind of women are active there? What advantage do they have by studying engineering? I believe that more people will become interested in engineering if they told things that are easier to visualize, such as following. Information is essential for choosing a career path. Role models can help people visualize who I am going to be. I would like to see a society where the inclusion is the norm and where women and men can be equally active in the academic field of engineering. I sincerely hope that everyone will have equal opportunities and that their abilities will be valued in the true sense of the word. Thank you.